Hey, is now an okay time? Because if you have a minute, I would love to tell you about the very first road trip I ever took with a boyfriend. And you know the name of the game, I do not tell short stories. So go grab yourself a snack, buckle up, buttercup, the joys and the details. So let's get into it. The context you need for this story, okay? I am 34. I didn't start dating until the age of 32, and my boyfriend has a code name on this channel, and it is the Bear. We have been living together since Christmas, and this was the first road trip that we've taken together. So it was a new experience for us both. Now, if you've been anyone living in the Northeast, you know that we've been having an exceptionally rainy start to our spring and summer. And this is relevant because I am a summer girly. I love to be in the water. My sisters call me Gup Gup because I love to swim so much. And I was really excited to go down to Delaware. My parents seasonally live near the beach in Delaware, which is about a 7-hour drive from where I live. And I usually go 2 or 3 times during the summer just to be a part of the town and the beach scene and all of that. I love it. And I was really excited to bring that part of my life to the Bear, who just hasn't done a lot of traveling as an adult outside of work, just for pleasure. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little nervous. Why, you might say? First and foremost, to me, I don't hate driving, but I do get a little bit stressed out before I go on a trip because I'm going to be driving with anyone. I could be driving with a sister, with a parent, but I know that for the duration of that car ride, okay, I want to bring energy, a positive kind of energy. I want us to be able to have long conversations, and I want us to be able to listen to music, and I even will download a book on tape or two that I think the person I'm traveling with might listen to. Basically, I just hate awkward silences in the car. Do not ask me why. This is one of the biggest stressors in my life, but if I'm going to be in the car for any length of time with a person, I am terrified of the uncomfortableness of an awkward situation. I don't know what that is. And even though I haven't known an awkward pause in my life with the Bear specifically, it was something I was still worried about. So we pack up, we decide that we're going to leave after work on a Thursday night. We're going to spend Friday, Saturday at the beach and then leave on Sunday. Now, what's relevant here is this was the last weekend in May. I originally go to Delaware for Memorial Day weekend, and the weather's always beautiful, but for whatever reason, straight rain. Okay, it's been raining in New York, it's been raining in Delaware, so totally rained out Memorial Day weekend. I was like, no worries, my mom's birthday is the last weekend in May. We'll go visit her, it's gonna be great. I keep an eye on the weather the whole week. At first it's gonna be sunny, then it's gonna be cloudy, then it's gonna be a little bit chilly, then maybe a little bit warm, and by the time we leave, the forecast was scattered thunderstorms. But I was like, okay, we'll roll with it. We'll see how this goes. And of course, we bring my little diggery dog because why not? So we load all up. I get us some subs. I work remotely, so the car is ready to go by the time, 5 minutes after I clock out, okay? And the Bear gets home from work. We load up. We head out. The night before, we packed, we were ready to go. We were cruising. Now, I realized as we started to drive, I was going to take the first shift, and we were going to split at the halfway point. As we started to drive, I hadn't turned on the music, and the Bear was like, what's going on? You just waiting to get into the mood for this? And I was like, actually, so yeah, I realized that whenever I approach a road trip, the first hour of a road trip, I usually don't listen to anything. And to me, it's I just want to give myself things to listen to, to look forward to. So for the first hour, it's chit chat. For the next hour, that's when I listen to some tunes, okay? We put the playlist on random. That's another hour or 2. At this point, if there's nothing to talk about, I might switch to a book on tape, and we might listen to that for a few hours. But to me, I just try to stagger a road trip. I give myself things to do, and I save my favorite musicals for the last hour I'm the tiredest. And I haven't done a late night road trip in a while, so we didn't leave till 5:30. 7 hours, you do the math. Factor in stops, factor in traffic, and you got the recipe for a very late night. I didn't know how I was gonna go, but we eat our subs, delicious. We start chit-chatting about our days, about life, about whatever. fantastic. A rule when I'm driving, and the rule is I get to pick the music unless I'm feeling magnanimous and generous, and then I let my passenger pick the music. I choose always golden oldies. Okay, I'm a big Elvis fan, and I feel like my Elvis obsession has evolved to just embracing all the music, all the glorious music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, absolutely obsessed with them. And what I love about the bear is he totally knows a lot of those older songs because he really loves jazz, okay? So we're cruising, we're jamming, we're singing, and I'm realizing I'm not worried about not coming up with things to say. I'm always worried about it. It doesn't matter how much I love you. It doesn't matter if you've been in my life for a million years. Initially, when I get in a road trip in a car with someone, I am stressing that I'm not going to know what to say. That we're going to run out of things today that's going to be awkward, and I'm going to be questioning, do I even know you as a person? Do you know me as a person? What are we even doing here? Has this ever happened to me recently? No. Do I still worry about it every time? You bet your bottom I still do. We get to the halfway point. It's about 11 p.m. I ask the bear, do you want to drive? And he's like, not really. Do you want to keep driving? And I was like, you know what? I'm hyped as hell. I am 2 Red Bulls in. I'm ready to go. I also get car sick really easily, so I normally default. Like when I'm traveling with anyone, I usually do most of the driving. However, I have enjoyed, since I've been dating the bear, becoming a little bit of a passenger princess. And I do enjoy being driven. But if I'm hyped as hell, I get too car sick looking at a phone. When I was a kid, okay, I'm the oldest of 10 kids. I used to sit in the back of my family's 15-passenger van. I would make sure I had a flashlight, and I would bring books to read. Every road trip we went on. Who is she? Because I don't know her. Now, if I even so much as glance at any form of written text, written or digitized, I want to puke my guts out. So my preference would be to drive. So I'm like, yeah, let's keep going. We keep going. We hit every kind of traffic manageable because there's all sorts of construction going on that route on our way. Diggory's chilling in the back seat. He's dead to the world. But I'm just having a good time. It gets to be the last 2 hours of the trip, and I go, Bear, we can either listen to my favorite musicals or we can listen to some Disney music, some Disney movie albums. And he was like, why are those the only choices? I was like, because I'm the one driving. If you wanted to pick the late night cruise, like hype jams, you should have been the one to drive. I choose Pocahontas to start us off. When I ask him again, I go, okay, let's switch to a musical. You can do Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, or Hamilton. Now, my man is a big Lin-Manuel Miranda fan, but he hasn't seen Hamilton. So he's like, let's do Hamilton. And I'm like, I type it in, I plug in the music, and I'm like, you don't even know what you're about to get into. Okay. I know every lyric to this musical. Can I sing all the fast ones? Absolutely not. Do I try anyway? I absolutely do. Yes. And I proceed to serenade him loudly, not even gently, loudly serenade him for the last 2 hours of this trip. Okay. And by the time we're rolling into Delaware, there's 30 minutes left of the musical, and I'm a little bit stressed because I'm like, hey, you don't even know how it ends. And he was like, I mean, I can probably guess how it ends. And I was like, it's okay. We can listen to the rest on the way home. And he's like, yippee. So my parents aren't there. Long story short, they weren't going to be there for the first night that we arrived, and then they were going to arrive the next day. So we have this place to ourselves. All right. So I'm giving him a tour of this. It's like a little townhouse. It's in a little community. And it's got a couple bedrooms, and he's looking around and he's like, this feels way too fancy for me. And I was like, we deserve to have a good time, and you are more than welcome to be here. And I'm showing him, my bed, or the bedroom. We get to stay in together for the first night. There's a rule in my family that if you're not married, you're not allowed to sleep in the same beds. So for the first night we're there, we can stay together. For the next 2 nights, we're going to need to sleep in separate rooms. More on that later. But I show him the first room. It has a really big bed. There's a bathroom attached to it. Our game plan is to get up early the next day and head to the beach and hope for good weather. I show him my parents' room, the other guest room, my youngest sister's room when she's with them. I show him there's a guest book by the door, and I was like, my mom loves when you sign this guest book when you leave. And he was like, what? So I can see all your other boyfriends who signed this guest book. I was like, no, I've never bought a boyfriend here. You're the first. And you're like, okay, let's jump to part 2. You know the name of the game. There's obviously a part 2. Part 2, first road trip with the bear. So we go to the bedroom. We're getting all snuggly. I get Diggory set up with his little area and his food. I immediately go into the bathroom and I tell the bear, hey, by the way, I'm gonna jump in the shower. I've got a bad case of PTSD. Public toilet seat. But close the door. It's a big walk-in shower with these glass windows. I climb in, I don't think anything of it, okay? I think he's just going to bed. After the water turns on and it's been a couple minutes, I hear the door creak open and I look over at him. I'm like, hey! And I'm showering, I'm having a good time. I shower every night. I just like being clean, completely clean when I go to bed. The bear doesn't shower nearly as much as me, okay? Like a normal human being. So I'm like, hey, do you need anything? And he looks at me through the glass. He takes off his shirt. And my heart skips a beat because I realize, as he starts to get more undressed, that he is intending to shower with me. And I am delighted by this. Delighted. We've never showered together before because both of us are very tall. I'm medium tall. I'm 5'9", he's 6'5". And the shower situation is they put the shower in my house against a slanted roof. So when I shower, the roof is here. So when he showers, we got a little medical chair situation so he can sit. So it's just there's not enough room in my shower. So we've never done that before. And I realize I'm literally so excited as he opens the door and he steps in. I don't even have time to think about it. When I tell you this isn't a spicy moment for me, this is a moment of giddiness. I am so excited that he's doing this with me. It was a double shower head situation. Like it had a rain shower head and then a detachable shower head. And I had that bitch hot. That bitch was all the way up, okay? I wanted to scald my skin, all right? At the time, I was also dealing with grueling poison ivy. So when I tell you it felt like I had these huge patches all over me, like giant palm-sized patches. The way hot water felt on those patches, orgasmic, okay? Literally felt like I was going to hit the biggest O of my life when that hot water hit whole swaths of my body. So every night, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, I would take this hot shower and then I would douse myself in cold water. So it was scalding hot. He gets in. Am I self-conscious about being naked in front of him? Absolutely not. I'm delighted, in fact, that he's doing this with me. I'm straight up giggling. He slides in. He backs up into me with his little cute patoot. And he goes, excuse me, which is one of our private jokes. If we ever have to squeeze past each other, we will push our butt into the other and say, excuse me, so sorry. So he's pushing into me. I tilt the water on the top to spray him. I take the handhold, I'm spraying myself. He's like, hey, you think you can get my back? I get the washcloth. I wash his back. I turn around and he does mine. And this was not what I need to explain is this was not a spicy moment. But the way I was so thrilled, it was a form of intimacy I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting him to jump in the shower with me. But to be so comfortable in my skin in front of him, the care and sweetness of washing each other, I've literally never been so happy in my entire life. I mean, maybe I have, but it was a moment of pure bliss. Like I just feel so beautiful in front of him, so cherished. I have never experienced this form of like love, appreciation, and acceptance from another human before. Afterwards, there's a double sink in that bathroom. So, he's brushing he has gigantic long hair and I'm, putting my face creams on and I have cortisone cream for the poison ivy. And I feel like I have scars, even at that point where it wasn't healed. Like I have these scars all over me from itching and it really did ding my self-esteem in ways I wasn't expecting. And as I'm looking in the mirror, but that's naked. I'm looking at myself and I'm just like, man, I just feel hideous right now. Like just to be huge scars like that. And at this point it wasn't healed. So it was still gnarly and ugly and so itchy. And he looks over at me and he goes, hey, don't you talk about my allure like that. This is the cutest form of aggressive sweetness that we have between each other, is if we ever find ourselves talking poorly about ourselves, the other one will be like, hey, don't talk about my bear like that. And I just loved it. He came up from behind me. He gave me a little hug and kind of like rubbed my arms. He was like, you are beautiful. We go to bed totally in our birthday suits. I'm the little spoon to his big spoon, and I don't even sleep well because of the poison ivy. It kept me up often. But by the time I drifted to sleep with his arms around me, it's one of the best feelings. It's something I don't take for granted. I don't care that he is sawing logs in my ear. I do not care. When you've gone your whole life without being held like that by someone, I treasure every moment of it. I don't know if it'll ever get old or if it'll become normal, but when I wake up in the morning though, and we're spooning again, and I feel a little nudge from behind, and I give my butt a little wiggle. Who is she? I immediately roll over and we start making out. I am in it to win it. I actually realize I've never had spicy times outside of my own home before. That's a new experience. And then I immediately realize I forgot to bring a vibey friend, which has almost always been a partner in my good times, even zesty times like this. And in the back of my mind, I'm immediately like, oh my gosh, can you even get your kicks without your vibey friend? Do you even know how to do that? I don't know why I decided to psych myself out about this. The bear has treated me on several occasions to a good time without assistance. But I'm immediately a little worried about it. I tell him as much as things start to steam up. I'm like, hey, I didn't bring backup. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a good time. And he looks me dead in the face and he goes, don't worry, babe. I will take good care of you. Sir. You know, the man wasn't kidding. I take Diggory for a quick walk and then we head out to go explore Bethany Beach, which is the part of Delaware we were at. It's a very cute, small town. It is flanked on either side by much bigger touristy spots with big bars and tourist attraction and all that jazz. But I love Bethany because it doesn't have a strong touristy vibes, but there's all kinds of beautiful little cafes and shops, and the beach is really right next to the boardwalk. There's delicious food everywhere. I'm going to tell you right now, if you happen to be on Bethany Beach, if you go to Shore Break, which is a corner cafe, absolutely worth it to get their funnel fries. It's funnel cake, but in fry form. You want bonus points, get it with chocolate sauce to dip it in. Okay? And we eventually head out, even though it is windy and partially cloudy, but we head out for a few hours to be on the beach. We've each got little beach chairs. My parents are, ready for beach days, okay? I leave Digger at home because he hates the ocean. He hates sand, okay? He loves water, not ocean water. He likes bubbling streams, not crashing waves and heat, okay? There was a little break in the clouds, and there was a beam of sunlight, and it was maybe just barely 70 degrees. But I was like, listen, if I could just get an hour with my feet in the sand and the sun on my face, I will take it. I will take it. I will take it. Please. I got that. I got 3, and it was too cold to swim. The Atlantic was frigid, and I'm a girly who loves cold water, but I need the air around me to not be like the tundra, okay? And it was so windy that like I said, I couldn't swim, but just the feeling of my feet in the sand, I'd take that. And I always just like to eat, swim, and read on the beach. Those are my 3 favorite activities. And I wasn't sure how it would be with the bear, if he would get bored, if he would need attraction, because he was just chilling, sitting there. He had his little vape pen, watching the water, making fun of people on their phones. And he's like, how could you be on your phone? Why would you not just want to take this in? And he was absolutely content doing absolutely nothing with me for a few hours. And I didn't know how much fun that could be. Let's jump to part 3. Part 3, first road trip with the bear. Let's go. So after a few hours, the sun goes back in and it gets even colder. So we pack up. We were literally only there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, but it was enough. Okay, it was enough. It's around dinner time at this point. So one of my favorite things to do is to get a seafood boil. So we bring back a seafood boil, which is so much fun. Okay. You bring back literally a pail of raw fish and then you cook it for an hour with seasoning, and you can add beer and all sorts of fun stuff. And then you just put big paper across your table, thick paper, dump it on, and you just tear into it feral style. It is literally so much fun if you love seafood. So I put the seafood boil on. I decided to go take a shower because my poison ivy is burning at this point after being out in the sun even for a few hours. I slip in, I'm having a good time. The water is ice cold at this point, and after a few minutes, the door creaks open, and who is there? Who is there, you might ask? The bear. And he goes, hey, is that water still cold? And now that we're inside, I can see that despite my prompting, the bear is the kind of white that scorches in the summer, okay? I get like a nice, beautiful tan. The bear scorches, okay? So I had told him, you should put on sunscreen, even though it's cloudy. The sun is still there. He denied, so his forearms and the tops of his knees burnt to a freaking crisp. He looked redder than the lobster that was in the seafood boil, okay? So he comes in, asks me if the water is cold, and I'm like, boy, yeah, it is. You get your butt in here. So at that point, we take turns. I'm taking the handheld thing and spraying his sunscreen, her sunburnt spots, and he's just like, and then I'm doing it on my poison ivy spots. Again, this was not a steamy moment, but it was just so fun. And I didn't know the level of comfort you could have with another person, where like you're bearing your soul to them, right? Like emotionally, physically, when you're physically intimate, but also in moments like this, when we are just being silly and supportive and there for each other. And I love it. I did put some aloe on his sunburn when we come out, and we tear into that seafood boil, okay? We've got some crab, kielbasa, shrimp, corn, onions, and potatoes, and we did like a Cajun mix on it. Oh my God. Literally to die for. And there is something so fun about like being interactive with your food like that, and also cracking crab legs open is such a weirdly satisfying experience. And I'm not someone who likes messy food, okay? Like I normally, like if I get ribs, which I almost never do, I cut the meat off, I don't hold it. I'm that kind of prissy person, but it's just, I don't know. It's so much fun. And then we watched the newest Captain America, the one that has Harrison Ford in it, which was weirdly not good. I don't understand why. Like we were sitting there totally exhausted because we didn't get into my parents' house till 2 that morning, that same day. Didn't get a lot of sleep. And then, we were outside. So we were totally wiped. And like, the feeling of like when you've had like any kind of time outside in the summer and you come in and you shower and you put on your sweats and then you're in the AC and you're sitting on the couch, how blissful that feels. Like my mom called me to let me know she was on her way at some point, and she was like, oh, you guys should go out and go listen to live music and watch the sunset. And like, girl, I absolutely hear you, but there is nothing I would rather do more than sit on the couch and cuddle with this man in the AC after being outside for even a few hours. It is literally the most blissful sensation. Full belly. Got some ice cream for just literally chef's kiss. My parents got there around 11 p.m. and we're just chit-chatting. My dad randomly, he's always been clean-shaven my entire life, okay? Randomly has decided he wants to try out a little beard situation. And I don't get to see my parents all the time, but I was unprepared. Now, granted, he's rocking this facial hair, okay? He's got the whole salt and pepper thing, silver fox going on, spicy good. But he comes in and I'm like, who are you? And he thinks it's funny. He comes over and he rubs his cheek up against mine and his beard's all coarse. And he's like, yeah, how do you like that? And I'm like, listen, yeah, you're prickly AF right now, but also my boyfriend has a full beard. Like his beard comes down to here. All right, so I'm used to this. My dad looks at my mom and he goes, yeah, well, we're trying it out. And I laugh and I'm like, we? And my mom goes, yeah, I don't know if I like it yet. So my parents go upstairs. The guest room I'm staying in is upstairs. So I come over to the bear at the bottom of the stairs and I'm like, hey, I missed you already. And he was like, I will see you in the morning. It's going to be fine. And I was like, I honestly don't know who Diggory's going to want to sleep with, though. Because even though I have been a single mom to that dog his whole life, okay, he's obsessed with the bear. All right. And I was like, and he goes, well, why don't we leave both of our doors open and he can just choose where he decides to go. One guess. Diggory slept with that night. It was the bear. The bear. He slept with the bear all night. Okay. I was telling my parents about this the next morning over breakfast. And my dad goes, yeah, I came down at midnight just to check things out and saw that he was sleeping with the bear. And it made me laugh because I was like, what, were you making sure I wasn't in there? What if I had been? Would you pulled me out by my ear? It cracks me. I adore my parents, but it cracks me up. But they are nothing if not consistent. These are the same rules that have been in existence since we were teenagers. So kissed the bear goodnight, and it felt like 50 couples on TV, like going to their separate bedrooms. And I get upstairs and I text him goodnight. I was like, good night, my love. I'll see you in the morning. And he texts me back and he was like, good night, my adorable, which is his nickname for me, which is so freaking cute. That's top tier. He was like, I hope you have a good night's sleep. So the next day is my mom's birthday. All right. And what she had chosen to do for her birthday was we wanted to go out for breakfast. Her favorite place is called Penguins and it's in Bethany Beach. Delicious breakfast if you ever have the opportunity to go. We were going to go skeet shooting. My dad and my mom are actually really good at it. My dad competes. And I haven't gone with the bear for that yet. So obviously. And then we were going to end the night with dinner at the ferry. And then from the ferry, that area, there's these little, like, you can like go on a little boat and go around where the lighthouses are along Delaware Beach, along the Delaware beaches, and you can see dolphins, which is always really fun. So we head to breakfast. One of the things that cracks me up that the bear does so well is he has this very like confident, chill manner about him. And I told him, you know, when he asked me what he should call my parents, I was like, well, you know, my parents always called their in-laws by their first name, and I would love for you to be able to do that. But, you know, 4 or 5 of my sisters are now married, and none of them call my parents by their first name. For some reason, it just feels weird. My sisters also were younger. They were in their early 20s, most of them, when they got married. So maybe it just didn't feel right then. But the bear is 35. I'll be 35 this summer. So it feels weird not calling them by their first name. But it also feels weird if he does. And he was like, don't worry about it. I got this. So he doesn't make it weird. He goes right up to my dad, shakes his hand whenever he sees him. Now, this is a few iterations at this point. He goes, hi, Dave, to Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Makes it not weird. I asked my mom at one point, is this weird to hear another person tell you this? And she goes, absolutely not, because he doesn't make it weird. And I was like, okay, points. Yes, love this. So we're chilling at breakfast. We're chit-chatting. I tell my parents about something funny that happened the day while we were at the beach that I still was giggling over. Okay, we're sitting at the beach the day before, we're vibing, we're chilling, and the bear is watching the seagulls. The seagulls at Bethany Beach are vicious. Okay, you got to protect your food. They come for you. So he's watching the seagulls circle and circle, and he was like, if they come for my food, I'm gonna get them. And I'm like, babe, yeah, you're gonna get them. He's like thoughtful for a second, and he goes, what do you think would happen if I like grabbed one and managed, like, if one was coming at me and I managed to, you know, and I was like, I don't know. And he goes, do you think the other ones flying around would be like, oh, they got Pete, we gotta get him? And literally, when I tell you, this is probably an inside joke that no one else is funny, but all the time in my head, if ever I ever think they got Pete, I crack up. Now we're just chatting, catching up for the day. At one point, my dad and I both get up at the same time randomly to use the bathroom. When I come back, the bear took the check and paid for us all. Now, did I tell him to do so? Absolutely not. Was I proud AF that he did? You bet your bottom dollar I was. This is the energy I was looking for in this man. We haven't had the opportunity to really hang out with my parents one-on-one, and I was a little anxious about it, but I didn't know how it would go, and I don't like coach people on what to say around my parents. I just want them to be themselves. And the bear is awesome. He as himself is awesome. All right, part 4. Let's go to part 4. Part 4, first road trip with the bear. Let's go. So we head out. Before we go skeet shooting that afternoon, we actually decided to stop by. There is a shipwreck museum in one town over from Bethany, which is super cool. It's this older gentleman who's been a shipwreck diver for years, and he basically has his whole collection there from shipwrecks along the coast of Delaware, which apparently was Shipwreck Central. So we stopped there, and we're looking at all the different pieces of all sorts of things he's recovered. China, weapons, coins, all different things. The guy, if you ever have the opportunity to go, the owner is always there, and he's always like to talk about his collection. He answers questions. He does the whole shebang. He's phenomenal. All right, it's worth the stop. And I loved pointing things out to the bear. Again, we've never been on this kind of trip before, and this is historical. I didn't know if he would be bored, if he would find it as interesting as I do. I didn't know what to expect. Okay. But we were pointing things out to each other, looking at all the exhibits. Like, we had a good time. And then we head out to do clay shooting. It's when, like, little clay discs, that's what skeet shooting is. Clay discs are shot out into the air, and then you shoot them with a shotgun. It's not as hard as hitting, like, say, a target with a rifle. That requires a little bit more, that requires more accuracy. For a shotgun, the shot just explodes in kind of this radius. So as long as you're near the clay, you get it. It's fun. I've been a few times with my dad, but I'm not good at it. The bear had never been good at it at all, or had never tried it at all. So we drive separately from them, from my parents, and we said we're gonna meet at the range. And as we're driving, the bear's like, I'm a little nervous about this. And I was like, why are you nervous? And he's like, well, I've never done it before. Like, I don't want to suck. And I was like, well, everybody sucks the first time. He's like, yeah, I know. I don't expect you to like solve this for me. I'm just communicating to you that I'm nervous. I was like, I mean, that's fair. Fair enough. I appreciate a man who's vulnerable about his feelings. I'm like, yes, please. We pull into the range. It immediately starts to thunderstorm with like hail shooting out. Okay. Hail is hitting the screen, and it's 2 hours until close. And I look over at my parents. My mom's like, do you mind waiting? And I'm like, babe, it's your birthday. Do you mind waiting? And she was like, yeah, let's do this. So my parents sit in their car. We sit in our car. We're just chatting. We're watching a little TV. And it only takes about 45 minutes for, the storm to pass, but it's still like spitting, it's still sprinkling. So my dad's like, well, normally when he goes skeet shooting, you like go on a trail in the woods and there's all these different kinds of targets, but they had this like range set up with like 8 different like directions that the little clays could be shooting out, and you just stand on this platform. And my dad was like, it's too rainy for us to like go for a walk, but how about we just go to this stand and do that instead? And we're like, bet, sounds good. So he loads us all up. My dad has 3 shotguns of his own, a little light one for my mom that has the lightest kickback, like a medium one, and then a big shotgun that he uses. So he loads us all up, has the bear and I carry our guns over, and then we set up. Now, here's the thing about my dad. Really good at teaching people how to do things he's interested in. He's very calm. He gives really good pointers. But the way my heart lit up just seeing him standing next to the bear, like putting him into direction, getting him used to it, like I loved it.
Yeah, that's where that bird's gonna come out. So you just go after it.
The order that we went in was my dad would shoot first, show us the shot. I would go next, then my mom, and then the bear. Okay. So my dad, boom, boom, easy peasy. I go up, hit nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm okay sucking at something. Okay. Like it's fine. Like I don't mind. I just enjoy the experience. My mom, boom, boom, hits it. The bear gets up, couple misses one, couple pointers for my dad, boom. He goes again, couple pointers for my dad, boom, boom. I get up again, couple pointers for my dad, nothing. Couple pointers for my dad, nothing. Now what's killing me is, again, I don't mind sucking, but when I start to get frustrated, because I can feel my dad getting frustrated because I'm not listening to him. I'm not listening to the directions he's giving me. So like I am getting frustrated that he is getting frustrated with me. He's not making me feel bad, but I'm like, man, I want to do better. So by the time I even hit one target, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to cheer you all on for the rest of this time. I at least hit one. That is what I wanted. But the bear crushed it. He has exceptional aim. And it was literally so much. It was just fun to have fun with my parents doing this thing. And honestly, this is the most time we've ever spent with my parents. And I just love how this feels. It feels relaxed. It doesn't feel like anyone's performing. We're like just chilling. We're just having a good time. Wasn't expecting that. Once we get in the car, the burn is still burned AF from the beach the other day, okay? And I didn't bring the aloe, so he's itchy, okay? He's really itchy. He's turning the AC on, and I make fun of him. I'm like, babe, I told you to put sunscreen on. Why would you not put sunscreen on for this? And he was just like, whatever. Maybe I needed the pain as a reminder. And I was like, what could the pain of a sunburn possibly remind you of? And he looks me dead in the face and he says, life is really good right now. Maybe I just needed a little reminder that if this is real, it keeps me grounded. Sometimes this is so good. This feels so good that it also doesn't feel real. I'm sorry, what? So from the range, we head straight to the ferry where my mom has this restaurant she really loves. Again, if you're ever in Bethany Beach or near Bethany Beach, crab is their thing down there, okay? Just try things with crab in them. They're delicious. We got this big pretzel display with crab on it and got all of our different kinds of food. And then we head to the cruise. Now, it was still super windy. It was still sprinkling a little bit. So we actually couldn't get out to the part of the bay that the dolphins hang out in. And I've been on this little cruise before. It's not like a super fancy boat, but you just chill. You can bring your own food and snacks. It's really fun. But we were able to catch the sunset, which was phenomenal. Like they're motoring that boat back And we're just laughing and having a good time. And again, I didn't know what to expect from a weekend, even a day hanging out like that with my parents and the bear, but it was my first time ever doing so with a partner, and it was really fun. My parents had to make a couple stops on the way home, so we actually got back before them. And once I took Diggory for a walk because he was waiting for me, poison ivy is burning. I went in to use the bathroom and then to jump in the shower. So I'm starting to get undressed, right? And the bear, I hear his footsteps and I hear the door creak open. And as I'm taking off like my shirt or whatever, he's cracking the door open to peek and then closing it. Cracking the door a little bit wider and then closing it. I find this absolutely hysterical. Okay. But once I get in the shower, he comes in, shuts the doors behind him, and he decides to join me. And this doesn't just feel naughty. This feels dangerous even. I am alive with the excitement of what will my parents do if they find us here together? We're grown adults, but what will occur? I don't know. But we're just spraying the water. Again, this is not a steamy moment. It's just fun. It was just, the whole weekend just felt so fun. I left really early the next day because the bear's cousin had a baby, and it's that baby's first birthday. What is that? Cousin wants to remove second cousin. I'm not getting into this right now. And it was that afternoon. We really wanted to make it back in time. So I took first shift and he napped while I was driving. And then at the halfway point, I napped after he took over. We did make it to the birthday party on time. Okay. I was real proud of us. I forgot one of the best parts. When we were driving home, we did chit chat a little bit, listen to music a little bit, but mostly we rode in silence. And I wasn't worried about it at all. It was the most comfortable silence. It just felt right being with each other. And we're chit-chatting with his family, and we get takeout on the way home. And I know that this part doesn't even sound exciting, but what I need to stress is life with the bear sometimes feels effortless. It feels like we just slipped into each other's lives. And it's fun, and it's not always easy, but it feels like we've always known each other. We've always been together. It feels like a part of a story that I wasn't expecting to stumble into, but here we are, and it's just feels so natural. One of the things I was so worried about when I started dating is I'm a very independent person. I'm not used to sharing my time with other people. I don't even like doing life without the bear now. He's away right now for a work trip, and I've been busy. I've been visiting family and friends. I've been working on writing and hobbies and TikTok, and it's not that life is bad. I just don't like it as much without him in it. This is not a codependency thing. This is not a keep your own interests, Laura. I have my own hobbies. I have my own career. I have all my own everything. Don't take this joy from me. What I've never had is a person enjoying life with me like this so much, and I am enjoying the hell out of it. And we've been up to a few more things, but that's a story for another day. I love the life we're building together. Who is